Hello, Colonial hockey fans. It's your broadcast team of Tim Benz and Mike Prisuta, along with the head coach of the RMU Hockey Club, Derek Schooley, another one of our Zoom chats as we do what we can to replicate the coaches show best as possible in these COVID times. Although Derek and I, at least we got out after the Colonials' 2 victories against LIU and went to our former stomping grounds at the All-Star Sports Bar and Grill to see our friend Jeff and everybody else the other day, which was nice. It felt like home, Derek.
And you were in the broadcast location too.
Yes.
You actually got the full I guess the full effect of it. You were right at the table. So the only thing, they didn't throw a Colonial drape over it. We didn't have any of the extra stuff, the giveaways or anything like that. But you were right there. You were right. It felt like old home.
Yeah, the only thing that was missing was me laying down gaffer's tape and monkeying around with that speaker at the last minute to try to get us on the air. No Derek Schooley bobbleheads either.
And Mike Prisuta, we were missing him.
Yes, we did miss Mike, but it was a good shift for us nonetheless. And we were out in celebration after you guys won a couple times against LIU. Before we get into what's taking place moving forward, as another coach in town likes to say for your hockey club, let's look back.
There'll be a lot of moving forward coming up soon.
Let's talk about what happened against LIU. How'd you feel the team did?
Well, I thought we did what we needed to do. I thought we played well. If you go and look, the shots were even the first night. We got out to a lead. We held the lead. It's tough when you're we're 2-1 going in the third. We got a couple goals. They give a little press in the third period. But scoring chances were in our favor, according to our guy. And, I thought we played really well. The challenges then bounced back we played 7 and then 3. And you best bounce back and play again right off the bat. And I thought we were really good in the first 2 periods. Our power play was outstanding. Got us a couple really nice goals. Our scoring chances were fairly one-sided. And then lo and behold, LIU down 3-0 comes out and opens up the throttle a little bit and kind of put us back on our heels. They're well coached and had great structure, and then all of a sudden they're laying back in the neutral zone became an attack mode down, and they put us back on our heels for a little bit, and we were lucky enough to get the 4th goal. And then the only thing that was in doubt was getting Noah West his first career shutout, and we were able to do that. But a lot of good weekends from people. Nick Lalonde had a good weekend, player of the week. Brendan McCallion, defensive player of the week. Brian Kramer, rookie of the week. A lot of good accolades for the team this week. And I'm proud of our guys, because those are games you don't get a lot of credit for winning those games, but you take a lot of heat for losing those games. And we did what we needed to do.
Toward that end, Derek, I wanted to follow that up. But first, I just wanted to point out, if you're out there listening to us, you started this broadcast when you clicked onto it, but we had an assigned starting time to record this, and one member of our threesome was late to practice, if you will, late for the puck drop. I won't go into any further detail, but I imagine there'll be
a warning. You get one
discipline forthcoming.
You get one warning. You get one warning. That was my warning. And if you second one, you have to sit a period. Third one, you have to sit a game. So I mean, I'll take my usually you do it with a phone call, but I got no excuse. We got a lot going on right now in Colonial hockey world. We got some Frozen Four conference calls today. We've got there's a lot, and obviously not a lot of hockey games being played. But I apologize to you too.
But back to the doing what you needed to do against LIU thing. You had pointed that out, and you guys are, in addition to trying to win Atlantic hockey, you're trying to build a resume that would put the Colonials in consideration for an at-large bid. Is that something you bring up with the team? Hey guys, we can't afford to slip on a banana peel this weekend. Lock it in, and then re-emphasize after you get the first one to make sure that focus is still there.
100%, and that we made sure that I don't, as I don't like to talk about where you are in the standings and the you wanted to talk about.
I love it. That's the difference between you.
I know you love that stuff, but this was something that we did discuss. This was
19th in the country, by the way, again this week.
Pardon?
19th in the country again this week.
Yeah. Well, we're not playing, so we could.
I don't know what the pairwise has to say.
Yeah. But, 9th. but there's no such thing really as the pairwise this year. But
yeah, the pairwise is taking a red shirt year, as it turns out.
Not that we've looked. I think we're ninth. but you know what? We did talk about it. We talked about as a group. You do want to build a resume and we've done a good job of building a resume. So you got to make sure that you don't have a slip up. And we talked about it as a team, and then we talked about it again. One of our team goals was to go 4-2 non-conference, and we wanted to go 4-2 or better, and we felt that we were going to give ourselves an out potentially against either Huntsville or Long Island if you could take one from Bowling Green, but we didn't. So those were something that we wanted to do as a team. And so, yeah, once you got the other one, then we had a goal to reach. And once again, talk about building a resume. Those are games that you're supposed to win, but they don't help your resume if you do lose those.
Tim, let me follow that for just a second. Looking at collegeHockeyStats.net this week, Derek, you're number 2 in the nation in goals per game at 3.95, tied with Wisconsin, but they've played one more game, so they rank them 1 and you guys 2. Your power play is number 4 in the country, 26%. Your team winning percentage is number 7 in the nation at .737. These are arguments for inclusion one way or another, or are you still trying to get over, but they were achieved in Atlantic hockey?
No, I mean, I think what shows is our games against Bowling Green. I think we showed very well about against Bowling Green, and Bowling Green's a legitimate top 7 team. And we had the lead going in the third period. We had a lead a couple times against them. So you look at those. You look at how we've done it within our pod, which is very strong. We've played RIT, who's got above 500 record. You played Canisius, who's above 500. Mercyhurst is right around 500. So that's a good thing. But if I don't know where you're going with stats, Mike, but one of the things that's really neat with this group is we're at 4.15 in conference, which is I think the third best of all time in Atlantic hockey. And if you go down the stats, we're also we're close to being the second team in the history of the league with over 30% on the power play. So there's some really neat things that we've done. I mean, right now our power play is the 4th best in Atlantic hockey history, and here's the even one there. We're doing better than we were in 2014 and 2015 with offense, when those were really good offensive teams. So you look at those stats, and those are stats that you're proud of your guys, because they have taken steps from last year to this year. The freshmen have come in and done a very good job, and guys that you expect to score, Grant Ebert, Justin Adamo, Nick Lalonde, guys that we brought in to score that may not have scored as much as we'd liked, whether due to injury, slump, whatever, are consistently putting numbers up. And throw that in with Prisuta, who's had a wonderful career, and then the freshman on top of it. That's a pretty impressive group offensively.
Well, Derek, let's continue this conversation and just directly put out, because I don't think we've flat out said it yet. You guys will not be playing this weekend against Canisius because of obvious protocol issues. And then you do have games against RIT coming up, and you got one more against Mercyhurst. So between the end of the LIU games and the games you have remaining, there were 5 left to be scheduled and hopefully played. Where you sit now at 14-5, 10-3-1 in conference, how do you feel about your resume now? Do you need to want to play more games to continue to boost that up? Or do you think you have played enough representative games compared to other teams that might get into the tournament to make your case as is?
Well, we have played the 7th most games in the nation. Looked the other day, tied for 7th. I think the most is 21. We've played 19. We have not gone on a lengthy pause. This will just affect this weekend. We had some differing opinions with protocols and things like that through Atlantic Hockey's return to play that couldn't be met for these games to be happening this weekend. So it's something that we're disappointed with not playing, but we want to play. And right now we've got RIT scheduled, we've got Mercier scheduled, and maybe we can get one of the Canisius games back in. The problem with Canisius is they've played so few hockey games. I think they've only played 7, and they're going to get a couple more this weekend. And if you've only played that, you've got to get them up. They've got to get up to 13 to be eligible for the tournament. They've only played 6 actually, so they had to get RIT on their schedule this weekend, and then they got to go to Air Force. So they've got to start mixing some games, and I just don't know if there's time to make up those games with Canisius, but we'll do our best. I've already talked with the commissioner of the league about trying to get games in, and God willing, to quote one of our favorite Bull Durham lines, and that we will hopefully be playing again next week with all of our, meeting all the protocols that we need to meet.
Derek, just to clarify, when you said they need to play a few more games to qualify for the tournament, are you talking NCAA or Atlantic? Is Atlantic making a minimum?
No, NCAA.
Okay.
You have to have 13 games to be able to qualify unless you don't win your AQ. So one of the numbers,
or unless you're BU.
Well, you got to win your AQ then. No, it's a 13 straight.
That was a joke.
But once again, that's the goal that we've all kind of worked towards getting, is 13. And we played 19. We played the most in Atlantic hockey. Mercier's played 17. Army's played 14. AIC's played 16. Sacred Heart's played 12. And then you got a whole bunch of people, Holy Cross 14, but you got a whole bunch of people around 11, 12. And then you got Canisius at 6. So they had to play this weekend. And like I said, protocols, our protocol testing protocol didn't match up with theirs this weekend. And they're going to play RIT, and we'll come out of that and see if we can get an extra game. But right now, we've played the most games in Atlantic hockey, something we're proud of, because that means we've done things the right way through this challenging time.
Derek, we've talked over the years, between seasons, and you've projected, okay, this guy was a freshman. He had 10 points. Maybe we get him to 15 next year. This guy was a sophomore. Maybe he takes a big step and goes from 20 points to 30 points. I'm looking at some of your numbers from this year. Justin Adamo had 6 goals in 36 games last year. He's already got 7 in 16. Brendan McKellian, 12 points in 37 games. He's got 13 in 19 games. Grant Ebert, 12 points in 17 games a year ago, 21 in 19 this year. Nick Jenny has gone from 11 points to 17. Nick Lalonde from 9 points to 12. Santeri Hartikainen from 10 points to 12. And they're still building all these, in fewer games almost invariably. Is this team that, as you've referenced, arguably one of the best offensive teams in Atlantic hockey, one of the best you've had there? Are you guys exceeding expectations, or did you kind of think, hey, we got a shot here to be pretty good going into the year?
We always go where you can get your scoring. And I think, we've talked, and that we've always, you came off right off the bat and you were like, wow, I think this team's going to be able to score. And you always wonder where you're going to replace some of your scoring that graduates. And guys replaced it from within. Like you just referenced, one of the things that we really wanted to get was some more offense from our blue line. And you look at numbers you talked about. Nick Jenny and Brendan McCallion have had outstanding years. Brian Kramer's an all-rookie performer on the blue line in Atlantic hockey. And
how good's Jenny been compared to some of you've had some pretty good defensemen over the years?
Well, I mean, it's tough because they all do a little bit different. They're all a little bit different. And, but he's had an unbelievable last 2 years. He was hurt last year a lot, which I think he would have had more points than what he did. But, to put up almost a point a game and consistently do that is pretty impressive. And like I said, Brendan McCallion has 13 points, and Brian Kramer's got 11, and Nolan Schaefer's got 6 when he only has 12 for his career. So that's pretty good. And then even guys, David LaFrance has got 4 points, Jeff Lawson 3 points. So we needed to get more scoring from our blue line. We did, and we needed to get pucks up to the forwards, which we have. And is that something that could be one of the better offensive teams? Yeah, this could be, but it's also a team that that's only going to play 20 games compared to teams that have played 40. We haven't had a slump. I mean, that team that we had that lost in the semis the one year with Wido and Gibson and
Mercyhurst game
and lost. We outshot Mercyhurst 60-20 and lose 3-2 in overtime. I mean, that's a really potent offensive team. And if we can average more than that team, it's pretty impressive. I mean, that had Wido. I mean, you go down that list of that hockey team. That was a legitimate powerhouse offensively. Wido.
You don't quite have that guy, right? You don't quite have a Wido or a Brady Ferguson or a Zach Lynch per se, but it seems so spread out. Not just getting blue line contributions, but also across the board with the forwards.
And those three guys were all on the same team at one point. So they're playing together. And you got Grant, who's taken a step. Randy Hernandez has had an outstanding freshman year. And Lalonde, player of the week this past week, but he had 2 goals last year, which we were disappointed in. So it was good to see him back. And you're getting contributions from Cameron Ebert, who has got 5 points this year and has really started playing very well since he established himself in the lineup. And then, Matt Guerra's got 7 and Spellis, he's producing what he does. And like you said, everybody's taken a step. The funny thing is, other than Percusic, everybody's got something better than they had last year. And Nick Percusic's still at a point a game right now. It's just, he was at 30 points last year. The question is, will he be able to get there with the amount of games we have left? Hopefully we got a lot where he can do that.
Well, Derek, the one forward I wanted to talk about in that mix was Lalonde, because, and I made this point in the broadcast too, it feels to me like the less his game is about looking for points, the more points he gets. Like when he does some more of the little things that don't directly have to do with scoring, the scoring and the point totals seem to come.
Yeah, and that's fair. Nick put a lot of offensive pressure on himself after his freshman year, where he had 15 points last year. And I think he got himself in a hole and couldn't dig himself out. And this year he wasn't on the power play to start. He was put in some more defensive situations on the ice. And I think when he got away from worrying about scoring, he started scoring. And now he's found himself back on a power play, back contributing. And those are things that you find out their maturity as well, because it would have been real easy for him to pout and realize that he wasn't on a top 6 line per se, because you got the right wing were really deep. You had Jordan Timmons had an unbelievable start. And then you got Randy, who's had an unbelievable start, Randy Hernandez. And you go down the list of our right wings, and Nick kind of found himself on the outside looking in with those guys' starts, and he just kept working and found himself another role, another niche, and playing some checking line minutes. And lo and behold, now he started scoring. And he's kind of, I referenced him the last game as a utility infielder. He can play wherever you need him on the lineup and whenever. I'm not to the point where I'll use him to kill penalties yet, but got him on the ice as a last minute of the game against Mercyhurst when we were up and winning a draw, getting a puck out. He was the guy that had to get the puck out on the wing, and that's grown with time and confidence. And I don't think he let it bother him like he did last year. He let it really bother him and get himself into a deep hole that he couldn't dig out. This year, he just kept playing, and lo and behold, he's finding success. So congratulations to him. That shows maturity as a player and as a person too.
Derek, I mentioned you didn't have a Cody Wido. Jordan Timmons was maybe on the way to being Cody Wido before he got hurt, if not Alex Ovechkin. You got Adamo back last week, Justin Adamo, and looked to be, not really worse for the wear. What is the anticipation for A, Timmons getting back in the lineup, and B, becoming the player he was when he got hurt?
We'll find that out. He started skating. We'll see how long it takes with where we are practicing and games. And we anticipate him being back by the end of the regular season, but and getting potentially a game or two in. We'll see how that rolls. And hopefully there's no ill effects of his lower body injury when he comes back.
Derek, last thing I got for you is in terms of the Atlantic, any further clarity that you can provide for us as to how the playoffs may go, or what path are you guys on in that context?
I don't want to be the one to announce the playoff scenario, but we will. We'll probably be in our same pods, whether it's a single elimination, 2 out of 3. Everything's on the table, but for testing, for travel, for all that, for at least the first 2 rounds, we will probably be in our pods, and then you'll see probably a I don't know. Once again, we're still waiting to see if you have one winner, if you have a final 4, out of each pod. Everything's up for debate. So I'm not. That we'll wait for the league release on that, but everything's on the table right now. But most likely, we'll probably keep it in the same region, like we have been so far. Makes for a hell of a rivalry, so that's for sure.
Last thing I wanted to talk about, Derek, and certainly not the least, the Hockey Humanitarian Award Foundation this week announced 6 nominees for the 2021 Hockey Humanitarian Award. That's in its 26th season. It's presented annually to college hockey's finest citizen. This is according to the committee, a student athlete who makes significant contributions not only to his or her team, but also to the community at large through leadership in volunteerism. And Dylan Lubensmeyer, senior goaltender Robert Morris, one of the nominees, along with Kevin Fitzgerald from St. Cloud, Josh Cossack from Union, Grace Markey of Quinnipiac, 2 nominees from UMass Boston, Andrew Walker and Jacob Atkins, and finally Delaney Wolf of St. Mary's. Pretty big deal, isn't it? And he has certainly been a contributor on the ice. We're not as up to speed on his contributions off the ice, but Dylan Lubensmeyer's won for you as a starter. He's been really good in relief, and off the ice, he's gotten the attention to be among one of the most impactful players in the country.
Yeah, this is a really unbelievable achievement. It's high praise, high honor. We have not had one of these finalists or nominees. Every team actually puts in a player or 2 they feel, and then they pick a nominee group, and then they'll drop this to the finalists. And he's one of the first in our program. The women's programs had one in the past, but the things that he does on campus are outstanding. He's in our SAC. He's in our Colonial Leadership Academy. He's a guy that's very dedicated. He's up every day. He follows a regimen. He follows a schedule. He does volunteer work with local youth hockey organizations. In the summer, he runs marathons and races for military veterans and military organizations to raise money for those through his running. Really been a guy that's really kind of found his niche as a college athlete. Kind of came in a little bit pudgy, and has consistently been our hardest worker. He gets up, he trains every day, and is really involved in the campus, gets good grades. Like I said, he's with our Colonial Leadership Academy. He's on the our SAC, which is our Student Athletic Advisory Committee. He was nominated to be one of our representatives last year, the male representative on the NEC committee. But what he does away from in the summer, working to raise money for military organizations and doing youth hockey stuff, is really kind of defines him as a person. You see what he does, and like I said, very, very high honor. Might even be Hobie Baker goes for the guy as a top player. This goes to a guy that does things away from the rink as well as contributing on the ice as well. This
is ostensibly the college hockey Walter Payton Award, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. A guy that kind of a man of the year.
There could be a woman.
Yeah, you're correct. The athlete of the year. He brought up the Walter Payton because that's really what the Walter Payton Award is, but it's really athlete of the year.
Well, no, I guess I was just kind of clear. They don't pick one woman and one man, right?
No, it's one winner. One winner. And we're really proud of Dylan. It was he had a great week. He got a big win against LIU on Thursday, and then to be announced for this on Monday was outstanding for him.
All right. Well, Derek, thanks so much. Best of luck whenever you do play again. Hopefully it's against RIT. Maybe we'll catch up again before that Mercyhurst game to conclude the regular season or thereafter when we do have some clarity about what the Atlantic Hockey playoffs look like.
It'll be noon if we do that, Derek.
What?
It'll be noon if we do it again, not 12:05, not when you can get here.
11:59, 11:55 if you're on
You're on
Coughlin
time. You're late, Coach.
No. If you're 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
So once again, you can hold that against me. It's my fault. You know what? I do got a lot of stuff going on right now, and unfortunately, knowing that I didn't have to sprint out to the All-Star Bar and Grill got me caught in on my desk. I've been writing stuff and trying to figure out when we're going to get back to playing. So that's why you get a warning. You get one warning for being late.
Did the Flow Hockey TV broadcast get you that shoe deal you were looking for, or are you still waiting to hear?
No, it didn't. Under Armour.
There you go.
Speaking of which, one other thing, Tim. I
thought we were done.
No, I've been busting Coach's chops a little bit, but since you mentioned Flow Hockey, it reminded me that during that second LIU game, we had Marty Galosi from your athletic department on as a guest, and he was talking about the Frozen Four. And we talked about all those games the Colonials had played and how thrilled we were that you'd gotten in as many as you had. And Marty Galosi said there's one guy that is way above the pack in terms of being responsible for that happening. And he said that guy's name's Derek Schooley. And he said the way you have responded to changes and challenges and the attention to detail that you have attacked this season and kind of the relentlessness in the face of uncertainty. Marty couldn't say enough about the job you've done this year. So I will say thank you for that, because we've enjoyed seeing as many of these games as you guys have played.
I appreciate that. And obviously what we want to do is we want to do it for our student athletes. We want to give them the best experience possible. And we want to play as many games as we possibly can. And you haven't commented on my Frozen Four vest here from Detroit.
Too painful.
This is a collector's item. It was the committee. We got them for Detroit. I got a quarter zip too. I got some Detroit T-shirts that I probably should have kept in bags and put them on eBay in about 10 years. But hope that it's all about this. It's all about making sure that we don't have this happen to our athletes again. We need to have a conclusion. We need to have a season where we've had a season. Now we need to get to the finish line, and you do it for your student athletes, and that's the most important thing.
Derek, best of luck, and we'll do this again soon, okay?
Thanks, guys.
All right, Derek Schooley, Mike Prisuta, Tim Benz with you here on the RMU student athlete website. Again, congratulations to Dylan Lubesmeyer, and we'll be back with another edition of the Zoom Hockey Coaches Show coming up in the near future as we know more and more about Atlantic hockey moving forward. All right.
Good.